I guess my question would be, I was working on a worksheet uh, Tuesday, and it was about it's about my brother, and there's a lot of history we have, unresolved history over the years, and the stuff just kept coming up, and it was just too intense for me. I mean, it's just like, woo, boy, it was just really heavy. And so I haven't looked at. I want to get it done today so I can work on my next worksheet. But yeah, I had to step away from it a couple of days, and so yeah, so I'll probably do some worksheets maybe on the other little things that I don't know. It's just very entangled, all this stuff. So to tease it out and to be able to look at it. Yeah. So
Yeah, it
I
can
don't
get,
know. Sometimes, if it's a step away or um, what you would suggest.
yeah, it's, I think something that happens to all of us. I know it's happened to me, and it's a matter of how much can I process at a time. And if I'm feeling very energetic and open and enthusiastic about it, I may be able to process a whole ton of stuff. All those intricacies may not be overwhelming for me. But then there are other times when I'm not as just not, it's like my bandwidth is less, or it's something I have not looked at ever, and there's a lot there, and suddenly it all comes cascading down on top of me. It can definitely feel overwhelming. So what I like to do is to pay attention to my capacity, right? If I'm capable of doing more, I can do more. If I'm not, then let me honor that and back away and just do what I can do. Some of these relationship stories, relationship histories that we have with different family members that have been going on for decades, and they're they're very involved. They've got lots of memories and lots of interactions over many years that make it complex and can feel heavy. So when I'm working with that kind of relationship, um, the way I tend to do it is let's get really minuscule and as just focus on this one interaction as much as I can, like to keep it micro focused, because the mind will want to go out to the whole relationship and how maybe stressful it is. So I'd say those two things are the things that help the most for me. One is if it's too much, just take a full break. Like, okay, I'm not going to work on that subject now for a few days or longer until I feel grounded again and I'm able to go in and take a look again. Or the other way is let's just keep it so specific that I'm just dealing with a piece of it, even though I know there's a lot more, but I'm just dealing with that piece, and that's manageable. I can do the work on do the little turnarounds on that little tiny piece of experience without getting drowned by all the other things connected to it. But it takes a little discipline because this little minor incident does have strings to all of these other things too, and naturally you are going to look there as well. So maybe it's practical, maybe it's not practical, but in whatever degree you can, see if you can keep it in that little small world. And then the next time, do another small world. Like you can just note down, okay, I'm working on this moment, and then it reminds me of something else. Oh gosh, that was a big one. I just note it down. Like Byron Katie often says, use the sidebar. Just write in the side notes what the next stressful thought would be, and that will be for future work. But I can save that for later and just stay with the little small piece right here. And That's one way of being aware of the big picture without getting overwhelmed by it. But at any point, if it becomes too much, then I just give it a break. Come back with fresh eyes tomorrow. Come back with fresh eyes in a week, or in a few months, or whenever I want to. And the other thing that can also help is work it with somebody else. Work with a facilitator who can hold you in it, can keep you grounded while you're doing your work. Those are also supports that can help with it. But it's normal. Like, we're opening Pandora's box. That's what we're doing here. We're saying, okay, what's inside there? And it's like, oh my God, that's what I've been stuffing down and trying not to look at and pushing away for my whole life. And so to do that is a very courageous act. But I have to make sure that I have some ability to deal with what's coming out of that in order to handle it. Beautifully, the work, and the more experienced you are in the work, the more this is true, the work is a way to go into any place. You can go into the deepest, darkest place inside, and this work will show you the way. It just says, look where the darkest part is, turn it around, and there's the lighter part. It's like a compass in a dark place. So I've come to trust it empirically, that I can go into anything, and I will be able to sort it out and become clearer and find some resolution and some peace. But in the beginning, you may not know that. You may not have enough experience with that to trust that. And it's like, oh my God. So yeah, be gentle with yourself. The idea is not to make yourself more stressed, but to work on bits that you can digest one by one, and then bit by bit, the whole thing does get digested. It's possible.